Hi, Scotty here at demondemon.com, and this is No Hands Proxies. First of all, full disclosure, I've had dealings with Jim Bobo, who develops No Hands products. Obviously, he's probably best known for No Hands SEO. This isn't something I'm selling as an affiliate, and Jim gave me this free and gratis to test. Most of the time, I'll use private proxies, but there really are times when just the need to vary your proxy sources is vital, no matter whether you have private ones or not. And just buying hundreds or thousands more just for those odd times you need some variation in location, or because you're doing something that just requires a lot of different ones to work properly, isn't really the way forward. And a good proxy scraper and sorter and tester is what you need. Now, this isn't the only one on the market. I'm just going to go through some of the settings so you can see what it does. Okay, so settings is the important thing, and it's got a lot of different settings here. Everything you could expect from every other proxy harvester, and a lot more. Limit the number of harvested proxies to begin with. So very important. This is if you make this number too big, then the whole harvesting and testing will take so long that you risk the first 30% already failing by the time you get to the last 70%, and you end up always chasing your tail. You really need, I tend to find a turnaround of between 20 minutes and 45 minutes for however many proxies I harvest and then test. I want to be starting the cycle again 45 minutes later, because a lot of these proxies have very limited shelf lives, and if you have a whole harvesting and testing process that takes hours, you often find the first hour is wasted because all those proxies are now effectively dead, or it will be some time before they can be reactivated again. They've got temporary bans. So I like the idea of being able to limit this. The number of threads, 25, it works fine on this. This is a virtual server, 25 works fine. Connection timeout, 15,000 microseconds is 15 seconds. That's quite a long time. 25 threads, if you get a few stuck, it's going to start to slow it down. Also, you've probably got processes where a connection timeout to actually make contact with the server of 15 seconds is a bit too many. The read-write timeouts, in other words, when it's made contact with the server, how long it takes to send data packets backwards and forwards. One data packet, sort of the data packet ping, packet internet groper, of 5. That's just about okay. You could lower these to about 8,000, which would be 8 seconds, and 3,000, which is 3 seconds. But as it comes, it works. Output proxies, I've got that set to 15 minutes at the moment. Well, actually the software has. 30 minutes is probably, well, 45 is probably the most I'd go to. Output to a text file, you can output to an FTP. So if you wanted to provide proxies, just pop to your website. So if you have this running on a server and you weren't necessarily going to wanted to connect to your server all the time, use a virtual desktop or whatever, and you just wanted them to be sent to a website you could just pick them up from regularly, then you could use this FTP and put your server details there, or you could have them emailed to yourself. This just takes a basic email address, and you could do it periodically as well, which is all fine. Very handy that. Once again, there are other proxy testers that do this. The settings, so this is the site you're going to test your proxy against. Does it work with Google, Yahoo, Bing, Facebook? This is going to be added to. Jim Bobo says that Craigslist and others are going to be added soon. It's not adding extra functionality, it's adding the function of testing to see whether that proxy works against that particular site. Minimum anonymity, so transparent is just a proxy. If anything checks to see whether that proxy is actually a transfer proxy and carrying data from a more permanent IP, it will be able to see through to your main IP from that. Anonymous gets rid of that, and in fact anything above anonymous gets rid of that. So that's worth thinking about. Transparent probably isn't the lowest level. If you set that to anonymous, you should be safe most of the time. Region filtering, very good. You can filter proxies by region. So if you just wanted US proxies, which I know some people do, or if you wanted anything other than US proxies to make a list, that would be great. You can use a whitelist or a blacklist. So whitelist to add, blacklist to just do exception. Port filtering, these are the common ports. You can add your own ports as well. 80 and 8080 and some of the others there are very common. do not allow proxies with these ports, 3124 and 3128. Those of you that know about port sniffing and finding proxies that way will know how important this is to get this right, and how some things work and some things don't. Initial proxy sources, you can add your own. What is fantastic is that this will actually find fresh proxy sources. This is the one feature that this software has that I haven't seen elsewhere. It doesn't work to a specific list from the outset. According to Jim Bobo's tutorials, this will actually use a template to go out and find new proxy sources for you. So over a period of time, the list of sources that you're gathering proxies from will be different from everybody else's, which will give you the benefit of having more unique proxies, which in all likelihood will last longer because they're being used by less people. So it's a very handy feature, and this is the one feature I haven't seen elsewhere. And then you have this tab which gives you proxies. If you don't want to do all of those settings, you can just press go, and off you go, and threads, and it'll just rev itself up, and over a period of time, there you go, and it's getting going. Have a click on proxies. Working proxies 0, awaiting proxies 32, and it's using very little CPU, and it's using very little memory. So there we are, anonymous, elite, anonymous, transparent, and they're popping up. And these have got these decent settings. I mean, very decent settings. The latency of under 2,000. It's going through that quick, and every 15 minutes it'll transport it to this text file which I've created here called NHP proxies. There's a really good tutorial that Jim Bobo's put up there to pick up from GSA for you guys who still use GSA, which doesn't pick up proxy lists as a standard feature, but can easily be made to do so. You just have to change a couple of settings and it will pick up regularly refreshed proxy lists from your desktop or elsewhere. It's something which GSA can do, but it isn't a press button implementation of that feature. So there we are. Say I'm not selling this product, I'm not an affiliate for it. Jim Bobo's just been very kind enough to let me have a look at his stuff. It's easily as fast as any other one I've got. I believe it's $57 from nohandsproxies.com. There is a discount for those of you with some SEO and social media presence. If you can prove you've sort of helped him to support it, I think he can offer, is it $10 or $20 off? He'll give you a discount if you've done that. I don't know whether that's time limited or not, but it's really handy. So you've got all these testing going on there, and just the working proxies there, very fast. If anything, it's the fastest I've come across. I've used Proxy Goblin and another proxy bit of software as well, but this is at least as fast, very reliable, doesn't fall over. And Jim Bobo has an excellent reputation of updating his software very regularly. No Hands SEO is now a couple of years old and is updated, I don't know, once every week, 10 days or so. It's a very well supported piece of software. And this has got a very similar look and feel, and I believe, I've got no reason to believe that this won't be supported just as regularly. So if you need public proxies with a good and fast, reliable bit of software to scrape and test public proxies based on some pretty sophisticated criteria, one that will give you good variation over a period of time by finding its own sources, and that will output to all common formats that your other SEO tools can just pick up and use while you're hands off, if you like, then this is a really good solution at a really good price. But I say I better be open and honest. You say, Jim Bobo's been a top bloke to me in the past, so although this isn't something I'm selling myself, I do have that sort of connection with the guy. Okay, Squitty at demondemon.com, signing off.